Hello and welcome to another edition of the SportsHeads on Verge Magazine. This is our NFL draft special, and I'm here with an assortment of talent. Obviously, Sam Morgan, right-hand man, is always here. How are you doing, sir?
Always good. Always a pleasure.
And I'm joined here with the X and O's gentlemen. How are you guys?
What's going on? Me good, man. I'm good. I'm good.
And then we've got our newbies. Obviously, Daniel's not a newbie. Daniel's been with us for a little while now. So how are you, sir?
I'm still a newbie, anyways. To be fair, I'm new to the game. So.
You're still new. All right. And then we got our new Miami correspondent, Chris Braithwaite. How are you, sir?
How you guys doing? We're here.
So how are you? Getting on with quarantine? Obviously, it's different in the States. It seems like because you guys be on speedboats and stuff. But in the UK, how are you? How's everyone getting on with the quarantine? Have you all been obeying the rules? All of you?
Yeah, man, definitely. But I think it's a different game when you got kids, man. Like, because you got to try and keep them entertained and like. They want to do this, do that, but they can't do it. Bro, it's long. But it is what it is, man.
So does it feel, if it's been, what are we on, 3 weeks now? So it must feel like...
I think it's long.
Oh, is it a month? I've lost count now. I've lost count. How are you coping, Sam?
I'm all right, mate. I'm all right. I'm trying to stay clear of the Trump edition of drinking bleach and God knows what else.
That's right. That's what I just mixed in here. Just put a little cleaning detergent in here.
Oh my God! I've heard it all now.
Please,
man.
guys, please do not follow anything that man says, please.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's his president in the corner there. How are you? How's it over there? How's it over there, Mr. Braithwaite?
Oh, it's convenient. He's my president now. When he says those things, right? Trust me, we keep the Lysol and the cleaning things for cleaning and you send to. That's not. I know we make jokes, but we got to be serious about some of the stuff they says. I know we joke, but there's people that actually take heat, and there's people that have to call in and shut it down. So some people really listen to this guy. So besides those, the rest of us. I'm sorry, the rest of us are quarantined here, just keeping it quiet, just trying to keep our heads above water. We are able to go out and enjoy some of the sunshine and run and run around. It's not really shut down as much as it should be, but we're maintaining everything is closed, so you have no choice but to stay inside.
So just what's the actual rules there? Because ours is literally, you can only go out for 1 hour, for exercise, or you can go out for shopping. So what's the rules there? I don't know if all of these guys here are following it. I hope they are. But
I mean, it's weird. It's contradicting. I know a lot of people like I could go visit, like if I wanted to visit my mom. It's a lot of self-control. Like they did shut down the stores, and they do have a curfew that stops you at 10 o'clock, but you can still go out and walk your dog. You can run as long as you stay 6 feet apart. Of course, the governor in Florida opened up some of the beaches. Our mayor in Miami said no mas to that. No, we're not going to do that. So there's conflicting messages across the country. We can kind of all understand why that is. Mm-hmm. Like leadership starts from the top. And so there's conflicting messages all across the country. So I would say the mood is a bit confused.
And I'm gonna say, obviously, we just have to make sure we say something that's clearly obvious. Please, people, do not inject yourself with any form of bleach, cleaning detergents, or any washing powders, or whatever it is. Please, can you just follow the health advice of your government in question? So now I've got that out of the way. Guys, it's the first ever, a virtual draft. Virtual draft, whatever it was. How do you guys, Sam? How do you think it went?
I thought it was quite good actually. Just because obviously we got to see in a lot of people's houses, see how some of the other half live. Big shout out to Cliff and
honestly, bro.
We're gonna get to that
in Arizona.
Oh my God.
That's thirst trap.
We're repping there. That's decent. that is the war room there was decent, but I'm sure we'll touch on what we saw obviously in some of the guys that got drafted, their houses. But I've seen dads rolling on the floor. I've seen girlfriends being turfed out of the way by the nan. I've seen everything that actually shows you these guys are human and they have to deal with the same problems we do. So, but it's been good fun, and obviously the commissioner nailed it. To be fair, he done quite well. I was surprised at the lack of fans for a couple of teams. I won't say them, but some got replaced with cheerleaders because they were lacking fan cam. Yeah, it was good, man. It was good. It was quite. I thought they done quite well considering the build up. There was a few issues apparently technically. They having technical problems. I thought they done quite well out of it.
So Jay, like, what was your view of this first ever new format of the draft?
It's a tough one because it went swimmingly well, but if I was one of those kids, I'll feel a little bit gutted because you wait like majority of your sort of football career to go up them steps and then go and hug the commissioner and pose with the one jersey and get your cap on. So
someone got a virtual hug.
So I feel like that was kind of taken away from them. But I guess more than anything, like they want to get drafted, so it's better to have a draft than not have one at all. But I'm not going to lie, the commissioner did look a bit tired by yesterday. He was like getting lower and lower in his chair, as he was saying. All in all, really good. Happy for the kids that have been selected and the kids that will get selected. But like I said, the moment was taken away from them, but there's a chance to play in the NFL, which is most people's dream. So, yeah.
Paris, what did you think about the new format? Obviously, we saw lots of. I mean, I was trying to understand. I think it was kind of sponsored type of thing. The headphones, everyone's wearing headphones. Yeah. It just looked a bit weird to me.
And the pizza. Well, don't forget Pizza Hut.
Oh, pizza! Oh, did everyone have pizza on the? I missed that one because like it came to a point after the fifth pick. Everyone was just like kind of half looking, like you know.
All the essential foods that are needed for these sportsmen. Pizza.
Oh my lord! Of all the. So, what was your view of the whole thing?
Yeah, I didn't love it at all.
Nah, you like the whole crowd?
Yeah, it was just missing the what's the word?
The vibe.
I switched off after the 10 pick.
Oh really? Yeah, you lasted longer than me. No, I told you in the morning. Honestly, I did try it. I did try it. Daniel.
Yeah.
So did you? What did you think about like the whole? Did you think Roger Goodell like kind of tried to recapture the whole thing, like the whole room,
a little
bit,
bit.
Boo him and all that stuff?
Yeah, because you saw the whole virtual boo, and I felt like he tried to a little bit. I felt like there was a drag between announcing who got selected and then actually seeing the player's reaction. Like you wait like 2-3 minutes. It's like, okay, does this player know that he's been picked? And then you see the reaction. So I think that in itself was maybe a bit of a tricky thing. But you know, given the circumstances, I think it went off without a hitch. I thought it went really well. And it was good to see, I guess. Yeah, I mean, we'll probably talk about it later in the show, but see these Lamb's girl taking his phone.
I didn't see that.
We can see live, so you know.
Oh, mad. I didn't see that, man.
She's gone. She's gone.
Just while we'll take a quick peek, just while we're moving on to the next thing, right? So obviously there's lastly, like Chris, what was the view over there of the draft? Obviously, it's in your country. Did everyone enjoy it? What was the vibe from over the pond?
I think over here we just understand that what's going on in the country, so we kind of all fall back. I don't think the expectations of it was down. We obviously laughed about it. This is coming back from a lot of people talking about the draft. They didn't talk about the aesthetics or how it looked or the reaction of it. We were just getting into like Sam said, some of the funny memes that will come out, whether it's the reaction of girlfriends and parents and wives and the kids, and that was pretty much it. And down here in Miami, we really just wanted to see what the organization would do, whether they would walk up to the commissioner or not. We want to see if this regime actually has the angst to do it. And we had 3 picks, so we were just locked in through the whole first round, just wondering what we would do, how to improve our team. So in Miami, we were locked in. I don't know about New York, who might have had pick 3 and out. They might have turned it off. Because like you said, like there's not much to do. There's not much interviews. There's not the side stuff that ESPN usually does. So the draft to me kind of flew by. I don't know if you guys felt that way, but it kind of flew by. The picks were coming in quick because there's no need to.
I was going to say, Daniel, do you feel that the picks were actually coming in like a lot quicker? Normally, what they do is they let the clock run down all the way, but it just feel like they was like, all right, cool, let me just get this over and done with. Or people got their kids in the background, so they're just like, look, let me just click, click, click.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think it's because maybe the technical issues. I think they wanted to sort of get rid of or mitigate any technical issues. So I think that's why they were just like, okay, look, if we've got the pick in, you've got the selection, don't wait, let's just call it out. And so try and run it as smoothly as possible. And I think that in itself is probably why it ran a bit quicker than usual.
It takes a little bit longer normally because you've got the whole scouting organisation and the head coach all together in the war room normally. So there's a lot of other discussions going about what they can trade. Now, they can't have those conversations between 6 or 7 people all in that time before the clock runs out. So that's why we didn't see that many trades, people trading up, people trading down. It didn't really happen that often, purely for that reason. So because you're not all together. Think about how many conversations you'd have to get to. I mean, to be honest, you saw how exciting it was. Well, Bill Belichick, obviously, just not even
honestly,
yeah, the
guy
dog
didn't care, man.
So
Do you even think he remembered that it was actually draft day? It was just like,
the dog's on the payroll. That's the new coach right there.
I'll tell you what, if he wins any, if he gets into the playoffs and the dogs was making the picks, then I'm sorry, he's won over Brady.
That's typical Bill, though, isn't it? That's what he does, isn't it? The guy doesn't really like to be out there, so I'm not surprised, really.
Does not give a shit.
Do you guys feel like that because of the virtual draft, there weren't that many trades up or down because of that?
Yeah, to Sam's point, I was thinking that a lot of these guys came in probably final with their decision, probably final with their pick, just gun ho. There were a couple trades here and there, but not really important. Miami, the Green Bay trade, which was weird. They traded up for a pick that they could have gotten at their selection. It was very odd because nobody was picking a quarterback between those picks that they traded up for. So that was a bit odd on why Green Bay did that. But other than that, I think everybody kind of came in gun ho on who they were going to pick in the first round.
All right, so what we'll do is we're going to go through the actual draft. Obviously, there's lots of news that's happened. First of all, just so we'll make sure we're current, like, George and Sam, like, go through the latest things that's just happened since people have been obviously switching off in between the draft.
So we got Marquise Goodwin, who was at the 49ers, 29 years old. To be fair, he hadn't really played a lot for a while. You got the guys like Kendrick Bourne. You had Sanders, who's obviously moved away now, and other guys who were there who kind of like took all the limelight. So I'm not really surprised. So he's been traded to the Eagles.
Wow.
Did you not know? You didn't know?
No, I just found that out. That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't think it's a great pick, and I don't really see him doing that well there, to be honest.
What was he traded for, sir?
He was traded for. They flipped 6th-round picks. Yeah. I don't really, in my opinion, I don't really rate him. He's a quick guy. He's a track sprinter. He's an Olympian. He's a sprinter. But I feel like there isn't much left I don't feel like there's that much left in the tank. So although he's gone to the Eagles,
what was the pick that they got?
They flipped 6th-round picks with the Eagles. But yeah, I don't really rate it that much because I don't really rate Goodwin that much. He's only got one thing. It's just a go, like, and that's. I mean, he did well for me in fantasy a couple of years ago, but apart from that, I don't really think there's much to it.
They need a deep threat though. I think that's the things that when we look at these trades, we put it as face value with the name and as such, but actually it's what they actually need. If you look at what Carson Wentz actually has done, the deep threat, he doesn't. Yeah. So now he's actually got Goodwin in there. It could work out for them.
It'll take the top off the defenses, yeah.
Yeah, of course. And obviously, like you say, they've obviously, for the 49ers, okay, yeah, it's replaceable. they flipped the picks. They're probably obviously higher up in that round now. Obviously, they lost. As coming on to obviously the next piece was obviously the fact that they've now lost their 5th round pick for obviously getting Williams across from Redskins. Obviously now Williams, so it probably works out quite well for them. I think all round it's probably been a good day for them. But 49ers are going to be on a bit of a revenge path, no?
Honestly.
So
like,
do you and Sam, there's a the Dolphins have acquired someone new.
I don't know about that. So you break that to
me. We'll break that one to you. So the Dolphins have acquired running back Matt Breida.
You know what? I think that's sick.
Okay.
Nah, man. I think that's a sick pick for a 5th round pick.
So a 5th round pick, that's right.
Breida, when he was in the 49ers system, so obviously everyone knows how good their run game is. Breida, Tevin Coleman, you got Juszczyk playing fullback. You got Mostert, who's come out of nowhere almost. I think he's like 6th or 7th NFL team. But I think Breida still got it, man. He kind of got phased out a little bit, and that's why in my mind I was thinking to myself, yeah, he's not going to be there. Same thing that happened with Sanders, kind of, who's now gone to the Saints actually. But for the Dolphins, who are actually rebuilding, who are doing, I think, quite a good job. They got Tua, who they obviously I don't think they're going to play right off the bat because one, they want him to be as healthy as possible. Devontae Parker's obviously looking good after being dormant for God knows how many years. And now you got Breida, who he can catch passes at the backfield. He's a solid runner. I like it. I love it personally. I think it's a sick trade. But Paris, you don't seem to think the same.
I'm not a big fan of Matt Breida at all.
Why?
Perpetually hurt and one-dimensional. And I think Fournette should have been a bigger target for them, honestly.
They did. They tried to get Fournette. They tried to get Todd Gurley, and none of them fell. They both fell through. It was Todd Gurley first, that fell through. Right. Then they went for Leonard Fournette, that fell through, and then they gone for Matt Breida. I like him, and I love it.
So Chris, as they're talking about your team, and so now you've acquired a new piece. What's your view?
My view is that now we have I don't know if call it a monster because we got Jordan Howard earlier in the offseason.
Yeah.
And now we got Matt Breida, so Matt Breida doesn't have to. Between the two of them, two veterans in the backfield, I think they will be able to take the pressure off of Tua. I do believe Tua will start this season. What's the other option? Josh Rosen. All right, why would I do that? Why would I sacrifice another season? First of all, it's not even Josh Rosen. It was Fitzpatrick, who isn't here anymore. So now it's Rosen. So I think they picked Tua at 5 to start. Now, there's something magical about the 5th pick when it happens in Miami, i.e. Dwayne Wade. So we'll go ahead.
Not related. Definitely not related.
We'll see. Tua's one of those guys. I know he was injured, but he's one of those dudes that has his head on. I watched him in Alabama, and definitely a smart pick. If he stays healthy, of course, but I think he starts.
Why wouldn't you redshirt him just for the sake of it? There's no rush. You're not winning you're not trying to get to the playoffs this year. You're not trying to win a Super Bowl. Redshirt him.
But you also have to remember, Miami is not going to base the offense, their organization around one player. They can protect him while building that defense, as you see they've been doing in the offseason. Yeah. So that defense is going to be stronger as they trade. Josh Rosen? Really?
No, yeah, I don't rate him.
They haven't gotten another quarterback yet in the system to say, okay, who should have been there already.
Well, you think is so Fitzpatrick is serviceable for at least the first half of the season. The reason I say I don't think they'll start him is because you need to remember, with the whole coronavirus, you can't actually train now. So preseason is going to look different. He's not really going to know the system. He's not really going to know the offense.
Even on the team still? I don't even think he's on the team.
He's still there. He's still there. Fitzmagic is still there.
Fitzmagic is still 1 more year.
If you redshirt him 5 games, I don't know, because I don't know about that pressure. Is like why? It's like
I think you just need to get him. You just need to get acclimated to the system, because it's not normal preseason.
I know, D. I know what you're saying, but I got season tickets, so I need to see Tula now. I'm not trying to.
So Daniel and Jay, do you just on the Tua pick, because obviously there was big hype about that was the expected pick. I don't think there was many shocks, obviously, except for obviously Green Bay. Well, we'll get to that in a minute. What was your view on that pick? Do you think they did well by choosing him?
I think the Dolphins definitely did well because you got to think about it, who was there in the who did they have? You know, so you got Herbert pick. You got Herbert pick, who I'm not feeling it. Jordan Love, too many interceptions in past season, and you got Tua. And if Tua is healthy, he's the best quarterback without a shadow of a doubt. I think he's better than Burrows, and he's more consistent. So I think he was great for a pick, and the fact they didn't need to move, they didn't need to slide, they didn't need to give up anything to get him. I think it was just it was match made in heaven, to be fair. So yeah, I think the Tua picks it's definitely a great pick, 100%.
And Jay, what's your view?
I agree. I think personally, Tua was up there as one of the top QBs that was available in this draft. Mm-hmm. Again, there must be something fishy that's happening. I don't think it can just be his injuries. I think there's something fishy happening for him to have dropped that low. But if I was Miami, I'm also taking a risk. You still got Fitzpatrick there, who I agree is serviceable for at least another year. Let him start, find out what the problem is with Tua, let him get fit. I don't think he even needs time to understand the playbook. He's probably one of the smartest QBs that was available. And we've seen that NFL have done loads of content around Tua and he's sort of football brain. So I think it was brilliant.
I don't agree with you saying where you said people were worried about it, because he came in, that's 5th pick. If you look at the picks, Joe Burrow, I mean, that was a given there, and I don't think the Bengals can take a risk. That organisation is going down the pan. It's already in the frying pan as it is for me, but they couldn't take that risk on Tua. Washington Redskins took a defensive end, Chase Young, great pick.
Played in the draft. Best player in the draft.
I think you're going to go. The Lions went with a cornerback. You know, they're not going to.
They lost late in it.
Contract to do. The Giants are the Giants. Obviously, they got Danny Jones. So what? They ain't going to go for a QB. So actually, it wasn't. It was a toss up between that and Justin Herbert, because that was the next pick after Tua. So I still think it's a gamble. You can watch as much game tape as you like after the injury, but dislocating your hip.
Yeah, bro, I agree.
Dislocations, it weakens. Now, unless he has to have the right protection. He has the right protections, it's fine. But there's college football and there's NFL. You see how these guys, that hit is 10 times bigger than obviously college football. So let's see when he needs to take a couple, and then we'll see how he is. I think he's a great talent, and everyone was obviously raving about him before the injury and warranted. But injuries ruin people's careers, and you know, this game is short enough as it is. I just hope he's got the protection. But I've got to say, on protection, and I'm just going to throw this in there, I didn't realise Amari Cooper's $100 million deal.
Yep.
Has anyone seen that he's got 0 guarantees in his first year?
Wait, 100 or 60? I thought it was it 100 or 50?
It's $100 million. Wait, he's got no guarantees?
0 guarantees. And I saw Todd Gurley, Tyrann Mathieu, Patrick Peterson, all talking about that, saying they cannot allow that to happen. And who allowed that to happen?
So what, do you know what any of the, what he has to hit to make it? Do you know what the breakdown is? Or I
didn't see that. They just basically said 0 guarantees in the first season.
Oh my days. I didn't know that.
That's all. I didn't care what the breakdowns, what he needs to hit. This guy did up take it. He's a wide receiver. He's going to get hit. You've seen them. And then what? He's 0 money? Come on.
That's why Jerry Jones is able to make his pick from a $250 million yacht, because he's able to
there you go. Yeah,
deals like that. You know, who I think wins the Stunting Award. I know the other coach was all right, but $250 million.
We'll get back to that in a bit. But just on the draft, like, so we're looking at, like, you know, obviously CD. Sorry, my brain's
Lamb.
CD Lamb.
Lamb.
It wasn't expected to be able to fall down all the way down to the Cowboys. So, like, they must have been. Did they get the steal of the draft?
I think we got the steal. I don't know how Isaiah Simmons was still left at 8.
Oh my god, that guy!
I wasn't pleased about that one.
Yeah, see, I was happy.
It's like another Patrick Peterson, you know.
He does everything. He does everything, and the speed of this guy.
I think he played like 5 or 6 different positions on the defense. No.
Yeah, 100%.
He's decent, man. he's
I'm
a
quite.
beast.
We struggle against the tight
That's
ends.
why I thought the Giants should have picked.
Yeah, but the Giants are idiots.
Giants are,
Moving on. So what? So on CD Lamb. So what do you guys feel that he's actually got the capabilities of making it? Straight away. Is he plug in and play, or is he gonna have to like kind of bide his time?
Paris, I want to hear what you got to say about this guy.
Yeah, it was kind of like he's the number one receiver in the draft. They already signed Amari. They have Michael Gallup,
who I love.
They're in a run-first offense, which is why I thought wide receiver was it's like they reached. I feel like they reached from just a little bit, like the historic wide receiver drafts, and I feel like they could either trade it down and got someone else for a little bit cheaper, and it'd be picks rather than reach for CD Lamb, who kind of has an overlapping skill set with Amari. So I don't know. He's a great player, and I guess drafting great players, you can't really go wrong. But that was different to the pick, to be honest. It didn't blow me away.
I always think back to Paris's point, I always think in the business sense of it, in terms of like, do you think he's there to put pressure on the no guarantees Amari Cooper, who signed $100 million, and that $100 million deal is really not a $100 million deal. It's kind of like now we put the pressure on you with this young kid, and in a season or two, we can either cut you or trade you. You know what I'm saying? And get rid of that. That's how I always look at football with new guys coming in. And
I don't think so. Just because like Amari, he might have zero incentives, but still guaranteed. So, and he's there till 2022, and we already know what he can do. And I don't think he's that type of player that needs another player to.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So I just feel like it was a luxury pick, to be honest. That doesn't have much needs anywhere else, apart from maybe.
I agree with you, Paris, because I felt they needed a tackle personally.
Right.
Their center, they've lost their all-pro center. I felt like they should have gone for the line personally.
So I was going to go on to the another controversial pick. Obviously, the Packers were supposed to be able to pick, ideally, someone to help Aaron Rodgers out. I'm wearing this jersey.
Help Devontae Adams as well, man.
Yeah, well, I'm wearing this jersey because at the end of the day, Aaron Rodgers is like this, to me, once in a lifetime type of quarterbacks. I think that he was one game away from the Super Bowl. Like this guy, like obviously, it went completely wrong on that particular game, but for him to kind of get them there, with not too much talent around him, I just think that it would have been nice for him to be able to get a tight end, wide receiver, or offensive, a line. To be able to help him out. So what was I'll start off with Sam, actually. I'll start off with you first of all. Like, what was your view on them actually just jumping over just basically picking Jordan Love, like putting Aaron Rodgers on the clock?
I think it's just the injuries that have started to creep in with Aaron Rodgers now.
Yeah.
What was the backup plan when he got injured? Everyone's looking around. We joked about this on one of our episodes in the season. When we tried to ask someone, who is the backup QB for Green Bay Packers? And everyone, the silence. I saw a bit of tumbleweed go across the screen. No one knew. So really, I don't see it being a bad pick. And actually, looking at what they've done now, they've put another running back in and they've picked up a tight end further in the draft. So I don't think it's a bad move. I think people have kind of over-exaggerated this a little bit. And Aaron Rodgers is not early 20s. What have you? I don't understand. You got guys. You got to remember. This guy has started to pick up injuries. This is a backup. So as soon as he went, everyone was like, Packers are done. You can't have that as an organization. You can't have this as just one person as a backup. Like we just talked about the Dolphins having Tua, Fitzmagic, and Josh Rosen. Yeah.
Oh God, that name, bro.
It is, but I'm saying they've got backup. There's backup there, and if things don't go right, it happens. Like you can only be an elite for so long. Okay, Drew Brees got injured. They had backup to continue. Bridgewater came in and he kept the ball rolling. As soon as Aaron Rodgers got injured, soon as Aaron Rodgers got injured, Green Bay had to rely on the run game massively. And you come up against anyone half decent, that run game can be shut down.
But do you feel that it would have been wise for them to, in that case, pick someone for the offensive line to be able to give him a bit more protection? You know, I mean, obviously he wanted a wide receiver, he wanted a tight end, so it would have been happy with that. You know, the guy's only got so many years left, but like Tom Brady, who's I don't feel as good as Aaron Rodgers. Obviously, I know he's got the rings and that, but obviously that's down to Belichick as well. I just think that it would have made sense for them to capitalize in this moment now with the fact that he got the relationship. Let's put it this way: the relationship was to me rocky at the start, obviously because they we just started to work together, him and his head coach. But at the end of the day, is that like it's almost like seeing a girl and actually thinking that she's you guys are getting along. You know, you're going to start seeing each other. You ask her to be exclusive, and then she says, "Oh, actually, I'm dating other people." So it's like, from my point of view, it's like when I saw that pic, I was like, "What the hell?" Like that made no sense. I was actually looking forward.
So
to
hold on,
weapons.
this is my take on it all. Yeah, I've got some wild theories, right? So I'm going to go from the top. So the Packers thought that the Colts were going to take Jordan Love, right? So they jumped ahead of him and grabbed him. The Colts were never going to take him in the first place, right?
No.
Secondly, if you kind of think back, to when Aaron Rodgers joined the Packers and Brett Favre was still playing,
right.
There's a little bit of a theme, like not that it's intentionally done, but when he joined, he wasn't really liked. Guys didn't really like him. I'm talking about Rodgers now.
Yeah.
And Brett Favre obviously like to hand down the torch sort of thing. For me, I agree with what Summer Sam is saying, because like Rodgers ain't getting younger. I think when I watched the draft, a lot of the guys were talking about all of a sudden Aaron Rodgers looks like he's 50 years old and he can't play no more. That obviously isn't the case. We know he can still ball. He's limited with weapons. Jimmy Graham wasn't all that. Didn't really do too much for him. Devontae Adams is the guy. Then you've got the run game, right? So now they've obviously got another tight end. They've drafted another running back. But the guy, I think he's, like Sam said, he's going to start getting hurt, and that's going to start having a knock-on effect on the team. So I guess if you're Matt LaFleur and you're the Packers, you're thinking, okay, we got a chance to get Jordan Love now. Let's take him now. I wouldn't have picked a quarterback in my opinion. I get why they did it, but I wouldn't have done it.
Yeah.
So now it's like there's been reports about how the Packers, the fan base are kind of split, and whether Aaron Rodgers is going to kind of groom him or going to kind of push him to the side sort of thing. But he's already spoken to him. I don't think it's really out there, but Aaron Rodgers has spoken to him and it's just been like, yeah, like it is what it is sort of thing. Like just obviously work hard and put in the shift. But what I think is going to happen essentially at the end of it all, I reckon after about 2 years, the organisation is going to be like, you know what? I think we're getting on with Rodgers. He's getting hurt. He's not really doing too much. And before they decide to get rid of him, I reckon Rodgers is going to demand a trade.
Well, all right. Let me get to that bit because I definitely. So Paris and Daniel, like, do you feel like the relationship with Matt LaFleur, like as I mentioned before, I think that there was a standoffish approach I heard in the off season, and then as they kept going along, obviously you could see that. Aaron Rodgers was actually believing in him more and saying, oh, okay, you know what, we got something good going on here. And then they started to warm up and there was nothing but good things coming from Aaron Rodgers. Now, do you feel that all of that work and the good harmony and the understanding, or maybe he knows already, who knows? Do you feel that there's a potential where that relationship now is gone, the trust is gone? I'll start with you, Paris, and then Daniel will jump in.
First of all, I think trading up to get Jordan Love was like the silliest things I've ever seen.
Why is that? Why would you say that?
When you take a player in the first round, you need either immediate impact or you need like a generational talent. Like you're trying to hit a home run. And it made sense when they went and grabbed Aaron Rodgers from Cal. Even though they had Brett, who was still balling.
Well, remember they didn't actually just to be clear. Like, they didn't. Yeah, they didn't go and grab him. These guys, he felt him. These guys now they traded up to get this guy.
To get Jordan, yeah.
All right, fair enough. So my issue with that is that it's saying a lot about Jordan Love's supposed talent that no one's since 2018.
Right.
They overthought it, I think, just a little bit. Because if someone did take Jordan Love, then oh well, they can go get the skill player that they need at wide receiver or tight end or wherever. And if he does fall to them, then they haven't given up any assets to go get him. But in the first round for a backup.
Well, but I was just going to say, sorry to interrupt you, but what I was going to say is this: is that to Daniel, is that at the end of the day, is that as I said, that they went up to go and get him, number one, and two, it's like if you're going to go up to go and get him, he has to obviously, as we discussed earlier on with Tua, when we were speaking about it to Chris, it was like this guy has to learn the offense. So with this situation that we got now, it's going to take even longer. And I know he ain't stepping in over Aaron Rodgers. There's no two ways about it. But so what was the point? If you're planning for the future, that's all well and good. If it fell to you, then I understand. But Matt LaFleur, what do you think about Matt LaFleur basically effectively kind of going on record saying, I'm not letting this guy go past me at all? What's your view on that? Well, how should you feel?
I feel like that was a big mistake. Firstly, because. While I do agree, look, Aaron Rodgers gets hurt. You could have waited. Like Colts weren't going to sign a quarterback at all, so I don't think that was going to happen. And then secondly, as well, I think one thing that's quite a bad look, and I didn't realize this before, but the Packers haven't signed an offensive player in the first round since Rodgers in 2005. So in 15 years, they've not used their first round pick at all on an offensive player. Right. That's kind of unfair to who you classify as your best quarterback of all time in the Packers history. So you've not helped him at all. Like you said, one game removed away from the Super Bowl. You should have at least gotten out the wide receiver. It was glaring obvious. It's a wide receiver depth. They still haven't drafted the wide receiver as well. Yeah. So for me, I just felt like, look, could Jordan Love take over in the next 2 years? Because realistically, that's what it has to take. Because Rodgers is 51 million on the cap next year, and I think it's like 45 the next year after. So realistically, you're not cutting him because he's taken up so much of your so much of your cap space. So if he's not going to come over in the next 2 years, why not get help? Because I'm pretty sure you can always still get a generational quarterback in 2 years' time, 3 years' time.
So you look at that, what you said there about the cap space, and I think George said it about obviously trading away. Someone will take that contract on, right? Someone will take. Now, Green Bay aren't going to be a team that are going to be in the top 8 picks first round for a long time, just because of the ability that they have. So you've got to build around players, and you've got to look at it now. The top QBs, there's going to be a need. If you look at the generation of QBs that are going to start falling by the wayside now, people are going to trade and get in there. They're not going to have the picks, the people to do that. So you got to. NFL, American football, game of chess, guys. Honestly,
business, isn't it, man?
I get that, Sam. I get what you're saying.
You got to remember.
I get what you're saying, but you also got to think that you might get a surprise package. Russell Wilson was in the 3rd round. Tom Brady, they always use 6th round. Rodgers fell to them on the 24th. You could do it. The fact that you've gone up, because you got to think about it.
It's a gamble. Look at Josh Rosen.
They didn't go up. They didn't go up though.
I'm saying they're not going to ever have an opportunity. They've got to then have the pieces to trade back up. And I'm saying that. So they've got to do everything, all the little pieces here and there. Go on, Chris. Go on. Looks like you got something to say.
This is just, I think it's just an indictment on Aaron Rodgers. Real talk. One championship, 15 years, didn't really. Real talk. If you really think about it, just like Brett Favre, one championship. Just a good quarterback. Then because when you're looking at the top, it's Tom Brady, 6. You got 1, and you've kind of made the playoffs. You've been off here. Yeah, you can blame everything on everything else, but this is the same Aaron Rodgers that's coddled and don't care about others and can push people off and push blame to other people.
I hear that.
Matt LaFleur, the new king on the hill. I think this is a power move to be like, yo, you can do that, but I am running it this way. I don't think this has anything to do with talent. You don't move up in the NFL draft to get a quarterback for insurance.
So you're telling me that for a psychological a first-round pick. A first-round pick.
Jay.
But my thing, I think.
Let me get Jay. Why would you do that?
Let me get Jay in, because I'm going to see if Jay agrees with me that this is a lot of blasphemy going on here from these guys talking about one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. Do you feel that they're making a mistake?
100%. I feel like it wasn't worth it. He would have fallen to them whenever they wanted, like whenever their turn was going to come. One and number two, I semi agree with Sam as well. Like they needed to have him, but to risk what they had for him wasn't worth it, because like Sam said, they're not going to be a top 8 pick next year or probably the year after. So they needed to grab someone, and he was the only one that was semi-available. But did they need to give up what they did for him or trade up for him? That's where I agree with Paris. When you pick someone in the first round, that person it needs to be a rookie that's going to go straight into your team. Yeah, you don't pick a rookie that's going to be a backup to someone in your team.
All right, so like,
unless
they are protecting their future, because
let me go back to that Rodgers. Let me go back to that Rodgers thing, because with the Rodgers thing, I hear what you're saying in terms of one championship, but then you've got to look at every quarterback in that space. Ben Roethlisberger's had Hall of Fame wide receiver. Tom Brady, he's got Gronk. He even had Aaron Hernandez in that point, and that was a great tandem. He's had wide receivers, Julian Edelman. You've got Peyton Manning. All these quarterbacks have had a great wide receiver. You can't really name a great wide receiver that Rodgers has had.
Devontae Adams.
To an organization,
they haven't drafted an offensive player. They haven't drafted an offensive player at all.
To an organization, especially a new coach, don't care. I don't care. My regime, my guys, I need to know. When I come in and I pick up an Aaron Rodgers and I got to coach him, and he's been coached by Matt McCarthy and a whole bunch of other people, that's cool. But my philosophies ain't really getting through. So maybe I got to wait 2 years.
Mad.
And then
it's still mad. They haven't drafted a first-round offensive player in 15 years.
It's rude, bro. It's rude.
You can't blame that on Rodgers.
It's not. Is
not even alignment. Not even alignment.
Bro, okay, he had a 12-4 season this year. Before that, you can talk about how many players he didn't have and this, that, and the third. What did the Packers do? Let's be honest.
Let me just interrupt you on this point. Not that I'm being biased or anything, but I just think that at the end of the day is that he had Matt McCarthy that wasn't working. For whatever the reason is, the relationship before, he got his new quarterback. Sorry, Matt LaFleur came in, that it wasn't working. So obviously the Packers aren't a chop and change type of organization. They don't just fire people like left, right, and center. They see there's some loyalty there that was given to the old head coach. Now, the end of the day is that he is missing Devontae Adams majority of the season, last season, and then he still made them work. He still brought out the best of these new younger wide receivers. Obviously they had Aaron Rodgers as well.
You won't get Matt LaFleur any love?
No. You know what? I must say this. But at the end of the day is that let's see. Well, as we're going to, let's see what you're going to do without someone of that godly talent that Aaron Rodgers is. You had Aaron Jones there as well, who was very, very good. Came out, I don't know if it's his debut season. I can't remember, but he did very, very well. But
can't do no worse than Aaron on one.
But it's a team that it's what's put around you. Like obviously Brady has had, and we'll get to him in a minute. But Brady has had Belichick, who is a genius, with him the whole time. So at the end of the day is that Mike McCarthy is very far from Bill Belichick, extremely far away. I'm not saying he's terrible. I'm just saying that some of the choices he was making, we're keeping Eddie, the running back that he had, Eddie Lacy for such a long time, and Eddie Lacy clearly wasn't up to the job. He wasn't cutthroat enough. But we're going to see what he can do in Dallas. But I just think that it's a world of difference. You can't. Some people are not blessed to be able to have a genius head coach with him. Brady and Belichick is a dream team. Can't really compare anyone else to them. I think that at the end of the day is that we're going to see, what the relationship is. Maybe I'm hoping Aaron Rodgers kind of knew about it beforehand, and we can, there's not going to be too much drama. Or that he may ask for a trade and the Giants come in for him, and then I'll be very happy with that.
That ain't happening, boy.
On the last note of the Packers, I think the Packers have overestimated the influence and ability of Aaron Rodgers. Because when you're looking back at it now, think about that.
You say over it or underestimated?
Overestimated just how valuable. No, underestimated. Sorry, how valuable.
Oh, right. First of all, how dare you?
He is too there because you got to think about. You mentioned Eddie Lacy was not like you got to think about even in that. Like I said, in that time that Rodgers has been drafted, Brady's had Moss as well, so a Hall of Fame or a wide receiver. All these you got Brown with Roethlisberger. You've now got Michael Thomas with Drew Brees. All these QBs have had a Hall of Fame wide receiver. Rodgers hasn't. So,
Devontae Adams, just to be fair.
On, man.
Yeah, Devontae Adams is not. You're sleeping on Devontae Adams.
He had them for half the season.
He's not built a Hall of Fame resume so far. Like he's not. I'm not saying he's not great, but he's not had at least 1 or 2 seasons where it's like, okay, yeah, he's not back.
Man, y'all make that excuse. Y'all make that excuse about Tom Brady. He ain't had nobody either. So y'all keep making that excuse.
That's true.
Tom Brady has had nobody, bro.
The greatest tight end of all time. You can't in argue one of the best tight ends, if not the best.
No, okay. He's had
Bro, come on.
I'm gonna say this. Tom Brady, when they talk about the talent that Tom Brady has had around him, you've had Gronkowski might go down in history. He had Randy Moss for 1 season. Edelman, he made Edelman. That don't count, man. Edelman does not count. He made Edelman, man. Don't talk with Edelman. Everybody else, James White, everybody else he made. Maybe Gronkowski, but he was drafted into the system. So that's another thing. Wes Welker, he made too, because he wasn't anything in Miami. Come on, guys. He made these guys, man.
He did okay at Denver.
Wes Welker wasn't no all-star.
Turn your camera off.
That's after, though. That's after. No, he made him, bro. Tom Brady made all these people, bro.
We're gonna get to Tom. We're gonna get Tom Brady quickly. So just lastly, before we go to the best war rooms that we saw, including the guy in the background going to the toilet at the Titans. I was going to speak about Jalen Hurts because obviously that's just happened today. Just quickly, what's your guys' view? Let's start off with Jay. But what's your view on Jalen Hurts going to Eagles? Do you think it's a waste of time from this point of view?
I think his situation is a wait and see what happens. I personally like him. I followed his college experience. I think he's a really good player. Everyone keeps saying this, the whole team player thing. I've seen documentaries on him. He's definitely that guy. It's definitely what they describe him to be. But I'm worried now that he's in a team that is gonna make him play everywhere but QB. Yeah. Because they don't need him to. And it doesn't like. I don't see him in the timeline. Unless they're using him for chips to trade to someone else or get.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking that.
There was talk about them using him like they have Taysom Hill at the Saints, and I don't think that's why.
Yeah, that was what I was gonna say. I was gonna say they're probably using like they're using him at the Saints, but at the same time, I like him. I want to see him play QB, but I don't think he's going to play QB over there at all.
Daniel, do you feel that Jalen Hurts is better than than Carson Wentz? I'm still getting that over the blasphemy with Aaron Rodgers. I'm still hurt by that, but still we're gonna stay on this subject.
I feel like with Carson Wentz, obviously he's proven he was almost MVP of the league at one point. So I think he's a good talent. Jalen Hurts, you don't know how that translates from college to NFL. It is a bit of a gamble, like Sam said. The only thing is though, Carson Wentz, I don't think he's had a full season of being healthy at all at the Eagles. So it's like Jalen Hurts will get game time, guaranteed. Yeah. So I feel like it's.
Well, do you think that they might have had enough?
Yeah, I don't think.
No, I mean, because he's still got a guaranteed contract.
Okay.
So I mean, he's still got guaranteed money. He's still a young quarterback. I don't think they've had enough, but I think it's a worthwhile risk gamble because you know this guy's definitely going to get some game time. So he can either turn out to be boom or bust, and if he turns out to be a great player, then you have a great situation of where you had with Philly earlier when they won a Super Bowl. Do you keep Nick Foles or do you go with Carson Wentz? And so if Jalen Hurts does well, it's another situation of Do you keep Jalen Hurts or do you go Carson Wentz? And if not, you can at least get a first-round pick from him.
George, what's your view? Do you feel like they're wasting his time,
You know
or is Wentz on the clock?
I think so. Wentz coming out of college obviously was great, and like Daniel mentioned, he nearly had an MVP season. But it's the injuries, I think for me, I think Philly have thought to themselves, you know what, like we were so close. Obviously they won the Super Bowl without Wentz because he was hurt. And I think in their minds they're thinking this guy's probably not going to be able to hold up for the entire season, and we don't know how much longer for. Exactly what Daniel was saying. And if they picking Hurts, he is going to play. Like hopefully it's not in the way that Solanke was saying about possibly them using him in every position but quarterback, because they will ruin him. They will ruin him completely. But I do think it may come down to an open competition. I know it's early, but I do think that could happen. Given how
So what you think? What from the get go? You think it's open?
If Hurts shows up, I mean the only issue now is there's probably not even going to be a proper preseason or a proper camp or proper. It's kind of in the air with the whole coronavirus thing. But let's say things were as they are. I reckon if Hurts was showing up in training and practice and he was getting things done, I don't think they picked him for a reason. He's going to play anyway because Wentz is going to get hurt. We know he's going to get hurt. That's what happens.
Well, so I would like to see what. Obviously, we're missing one member of the SportsHeads from New York.
Is George saying that if he does well in preseason and training camp, he might get a starting
apparently
job?
so.
You know, like Chicago with what's his name now? Who's got you got
Nick Foles
and Nick Foles. You know, they've declared it an open competition, which I think is going to win, in my opinion. They may not come out and say it like that, but behind closed doors, you know what? I think they're thinking about it, no doubt.
So wait, Jalen Hurts could potentially beat Wentz, but we're gonna say Fitzpatrick is gonna start over Tua. Like, come on, guys. Tua's gonna start.
Tua is different because if they play Tua and the guy gets hurt, it's all over, bro. Like that hip thing is I can't. Hip dislocation ain't minor, man. That's serious. Like, I don't see that as one of them things where you can. Oh, they say he's healthy. Miami's doctor said they checked him over and they were fully confident, which is why they drafted him. But I think Sam mentioned this earlier. In my mind, like a hip dislocation, and I'm not a doctor, but like that's some serious shit. Like that's serious. Excuse my language. That's. So like, if they're willing to put him in and not redshirt him, and he gets hurt, Brian's on the wall, man.
We haven't heard any discussions about redshirting. That's one thing. Ever since they spoke about whether they were going to pick him or not, no pundits, nobody has even thought or said, you know what, this guy is a project to be worked on and so on and so forth. I think this dude starts snapping.
What I'd probably say regarding Tua, I think there's heavy investment on, going to be made in him, and then there's like a lot of excitement, especially from what I see from Miami fans about him, because finally they've actually got a project that they can actually believe in. Because for those who don't know, then the college team is actually bigger than I'll say the Dolphins is. So what I would say with that is that this is the first time in a long time that they've actually Chris and I met up with the organization last year. And then they were actually talking to us about what big plans that they've got, and keep an eye on us. And this is going to be like something serious. And obviously they've got a lot of the Patriots back staff. So I just think that they're not going to. They're not. I think that this is a start with Fitzpatrick, because I think it would be irresponsible, especially in this climate right now. I mean, take away Corona and all this other stuff, then maybe you got a case. But I just think that. He has to learn their system. So I can't see
this Miami. We got way too much stuff to do, man.
Like, you're gonna get rocked, and then that'll be the end of the hope.
Nah, that's the coach's. That's the coach's job. He can get rocked this season or next season. His hip won't break. What's the difference? Like, come on, guys. Like, that's all I'm saying. If the man said he could play and the doctor said that it's fine, well, I'm a redshirt him for another year. They didn't say it's 70%. They said it's good. So I gotta trust that the doctors. I'm gonna just redshirt him on some insurance while paying this guy $19 million to Fitzpatrick to make us to go 5-11. I mean, the signing bonus and stuff is serious bread. So to sit he's not the one to sit on the bench, bro. Like, Like, why Joe Burrow don't sit on the bench?
What I would say is this: is that we none of us know because this only happened yesterday. So why don't we wait and see before we start putting him in the Lions den. Right, let's go to the most important thing, the war rooms. That was the most interesting thing for me.
Yeah.
So Sam, you got a top 5. You want to start from 5 back?
I don't know if I have a top 5 because I'll still keep looking at Cliff's house.
Stop
honestly,
dreaming and imagining.
I've been trying to get the Google images, zoom in on the screen, try and see everything.
So who's your top? And we'll go around and we'll say what in the war rooms who stood out.
Well, Cliff and Jerry for the top 2 for me.
That's it.
The Titans didn't make it.
I didn't see that one.
Nah.
You know what? I have to put Titans top 5 just because it was unique. It's unique.
Well, I didn't see it. What actually happened? I didn't see it.
Someone's wearing some Gibbs suit.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing that.
I don't know who it was.
And then what an eagle-eyed fan noticed in the background in the mirror. If you look towards the left of the picture, then there's someone. It looks like someone's going to the toilet. So it's like, so this is on live TV. So if you look to the left of the picture, then you're going to be able to, in the mirror, then you'll see that. So that was that. And then the organization, the Titans are putting out a press release saying that, no, it wasn't. The person was just sitting down. I was just like, okay. The fact that you put out a press release, that means that it was true. So what? So you're giving Sam, you're giving Cliff your Cliff Kimberly your number 1.
He takes number 1, but actually
more than Jerry.
No. Because Jerry's a money man, so that the yacht is a given. I'm talking in real level. Cliff obviously comes in quite well.
Jerry's disqualified because he's too much of a baller.
Yeah, it's too. Yeah. That's not fair.
It's not fair.
How you get disqualified in the bowling competition for outballing everyone?
We need to bring it back to the real world. Also, shout out to Belichick's dog as well.
That's so Belichick, man. So Belichick.
Yeah,
they've got 14 picks.
In my top 14 picks, I think Belichick. I got 4. I got Belichick being number 4 just for having the dog in the picture there. That was, I think, amazing. Then their stunting goes from 3. Obviously John Elway with the 3 chips in the background, stunting on everybody that don't have rings. Cliff does get number 2 because he got somebody to come in there and clean up before the coronavirus. So I like that. Because he got somebody to come clean everything. Everything. The lawn was done. I was like, you ain't been social distancing. You had somebody come in here and clean up this house, man. But of course, number 1 is the stunter of all time, of course, Jerry Jones. We didn't even see the whole yacht. Just knowing that he's on a $250 million yacht in a little corner of that yacht is all right. And he takes the cake, man. It was fun to watch those guys.
Right. So let me, just in case for people that haven't seen it, let me just tell you about some of the stuff that's actually happened. So you have Henry Ruggs was wearing a robe, a bathrobe. Draft.
He goes after the Raiders, isn't it?
Now, I was obviously off air. I was speaking to Chris, and I was killing this guy about wearing this robe because I was like, "What are you doing? Why would you do that?"
And when
but it was for charity, apparently. So,
okay.
I literally turned around and was like, "It was a nice robe, though."
You didn't say it's for charity. You didn't say it's for charity.
I liked it.
I would do that. I would do it as well.
Yeah, very Hugh Hefner-esque, yo.
If I'm at home chilling, innit? Like I would do it too, man.
Thank you, George. I told him that. He's at home chilling, man.
That's it, man.
What do you think, Sam?
Yeah, man. I'm down.
Yeah, I'll take that.
But do you guys see Chase Daniels wearing sunglasses indoors at night?
Yeah,
I can do what I want, man.
It's things like that. Right, let me go through. I'll go through some more of the list. So there was Isaiah Simmons, who went to the Jags. His girlfriend wanted to make sure that all the other women knew that she was about that life, and I must say that she is about that life. Props to you.
Man.
So,
Elias Simmons come to the Cardinals, mate. Stop trying to get rid of our pick.
Oh no, you know what? I've purposely, I must say this, because people know I've been hating on anything that's to do with Sam that he loves or likes. You know, tell me about your pick. Let's get that out of the way.
It was a great pick.
Thank you. Right, so go on.
I would say. Hold on. I would say with the girlfriend kissing and so on and so forth. That's fine. Like we see them, but like they say, like Ryan, my boy Ryan Davis says, like the girls don't see them. They see them at the after party and at the draft party and after the game and at the hotel on the road. They don't even watch this. So you can let anybody and everyone.
That being
know,
said, I'm just going to go to one thing. Just one thing that was quite funny. Like, you know, it was Isaiah Wilson's mom, who was Isaiah Wilson had his big moment. Obviously, he's got announced. His girlfriend decided to give him the biggest hug of all, to a point where we can actually see him on the screen. And his mum, when you watch the footage, his mum actually just got her and grabbed her and picked her up off of the.
Damn!
Her child.
Damn. Good.
I was like,
damn!
Get up. So that
said we got drafted. We got drafted.
Yeah, she would. That was another one.
Yeah.
So obviously, the Hall of Fame when it comes to any related girlfriend type of stuff is I'm gonna get in trouble for this one. But it's about CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb, like you know, he showed he had them hands. His hand movements was real quick. You and Chris.
I didn't see that.
His hand-eye peripheral vision is clean. I know the Dallas Cowboys saw that and they were like, "I like our pick, man."
So let me tell people what happened.
And he's man.
The mom side-eyed the girl as well after.
So what happened was, just in case people haven't seen it, I can't believe you haven't, but it's great. CeeDee Lamb was on one phone with his right hand, and he had his phone next to his girlfriend on his left hand, and his girlfriend decided at that point to just after the draft announcement to be able to, here's my opportunity. We don't know if it's her phone or not. I'm just putting that disclaimer out, but she decided to grab the phone there and then, and I have never seen a person move so quick. Like he moved with the quickness to be able to be like, nah. And you can see he was like,
he grabbed that phone like he was grabbing a slant and out the slot, man. And it came out that they were saying that his agent was calling and she was going to answer it and so on and so forth. It came out on Twitter and it wasn't like that. Yeah. But I'm sorry, everybody was kind of giving her the, what the hell are you doing? Look, and I'm gonna just leave. That's our story, and we're gonna stick to it.
Like you just, she wanted to make sure that it wasn't something else. Like, it's I couldn't believe how quick he moved, though. That's the thing. Like,
good hands.
You got hands, man. You got
hands. Be decent.
And obviously, I have to touch base on this again because I look. Hey, Joe Jones, you know you got the dough. Amazing. You know that's a different level. But the presentation award had to go to Cliff Kingsbury because my God, that looks
honestly, man. Honestly, like, but do you notice something? Did any of you notice? You know, when obviously the cameras are fixated in these people's homes, so they're always rolling, right? So the guys and the managers and the GMs, they know they're being watched. When it came to Cliff, the guy was like chilling like he was in a cinema, and then he realized once the lag had caught up, the guy sat up from his seat. I don't know if anyone clocked it. Like,
yeah, I saw that.
Because this, like, he didn't want anyone to think he was like chilling and not taking it seriously.
Man.
Like,
he's chilled.
He was chilling.
He had his foot on the table, everything.
He was like, "This house has been paid off with that back in one go."
Yeah,
and then people started to put in like articles about the house. And then there's if you look it up, then you can actually see around the house because obviously he's only just bought it, so you can see the actual views around the house. Cliff,
I'm one of those guys, by the way.
It looks like your background, Sam. It looks a bit like your background.
This is my yacht. I'm on my yacht now.
Yeah.
I try and catch up with Jerry.
Sam took the virtual off, and this is his actual house right now. Yeah.
The one thing I didn't get with Cliff Kingsbury is he's in Arizona. He's in the desert. Why has he got a fireplace going? I didn't get that.
That's great, isn't it?
Hey.
The look.
No, yeah, that's the look. Just let it be known that you need to have that.
Man.
His temperature gets to about 75.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, that was so. Those moments I particularly really enjoyed, and obviously I think that sometimes these guys aren't able to make it to the actual draft anyway. So I think there'll be more people who want that screen time, who would actually be with their families and so forth. I mean, there was a lot of coaches just putting their kids in there for no reason at all. That was different.
That. Some kids look bored as hell.
Yeah, it was like the one kid was just standing there like,
it's like, oh,
you hostage? Like.
I don't know if you guys can obviously catch up on the Cardinals Twitter page, but they are now putting together Lego packs of Cliff's.
You have to tap your screen.
Yeah, no, it's all right. Cliff's pad is now a Lego version made by the Cardinals.
No way.
Yeah, so feel free to check that out.
This guy. I'm sorry. That was one of the smoothest things I've ever seen in my life. Like just that picture on its own, like that's an album cover or something. You know.
One thing I picked up is how bad does it have to be to get booed virtually? How bad do you have to be to get booed virtually?
Yeah.
Oh, either Roger Goodell.
Roger Goodell.
No, I think that he.
I don't understand. You think it's just because?
No, but that's his tradition because he encouraged it. He was encouraging the boos.
Yeah.
I think that's just like a traditional thing at the draft.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know who knows the background behind that. It baffles me, you know. Like, I never understand that one, but hey, whatever. So let's get on to the just lastly. Let's talk about obviously the other big news that was pre-draft. Apparently, the Bucks are going to win the Super Bowl because they have the Super Bowl. So let's start off with George because George is ready to go.
Look, I don't want to be that guy. Obviously, Brady's amazing. The guy's got all the rings and all that and that.
Yeah.
What was that?
No. I'm just saying the Brady fans over there.
So like, okay, the guy's now playing in Tampa, and apparently he said he told guys that wherever he went, Gronk would follow, and it obviously was true, right? Now Gronk's playing. Was immediately traded to the Tampa Bay for a seventh, I think it was, or something like that, or no, fourth or seventh, I can't remember, one of them. Obviously Brady's what? Is he 42 now? Yeah, is he 42? I think
42.
Yeah, 42. Right. Yeah.
I don't want to be that guy. In fact, I'm going to be that guy. I get the hype because he's got the rings, but I don't think people should be expecting the same kind of production. The only thing I will say is they have weapons in Gronk and Chris. In Mike Evans, and 12 has now become 14 because they've exchanged numbers with, what's his name? I forgot his name. Godwin. So they got a good run game. They drafted another running back as well, I think, if I'm not incorrect. Someone check that for me. But Brady is still Brady. He's 42. He ain't getting no younger. Like, his body's going to eventually break down at some point. I know he's playing in Florida, and everyone's like, oh my God, Gronk is here. Like, yeah. Defense is okay. I don't know if you're going to get the production that people are expecting. He's got someone to throw the ball deep to now, so maybe, but I'm not that hyped about it, personally. I just see like an older guy. He's got the rings. He goes down in history. He's got the legacy. Well, to me, it's just like, it's just another picking it. Like, it's Brady, but is it really? It's not the Brady of the years ago, is it? Like, he ain't getting no younger. That's just my take anyway. Like, I'm not taking nothing away from the guy. I'm just saying.
Daniel, you seem like you're ready to go.
No, I think it's a tricky one because, like I said, the whole preseason thing is going to affect people who aren't familiar in a new system. So that whole getting accustomed to a new system, to a new way, because Brady's been doing something for 20 years. When you do something for 20 years and to go to something new, it's going to be very tricky. New surroundings, new people, new settings. Tampa Bay, and you got to think about the division he's in. Like the Patriots division before, where basically was, excuse my language, was dog shit. Whereas now you've got Breeze.
There goes on monetization.
Yeah, sorry. Now you've got Breeze. You've got the Falcons who are still decent, depending on what comes up, and then you've got the Panthers who could be a wild card. So, and even then, the NFC is just a tougher division in general. So for me, I agree with George. He's 42. His play was declining anyways in New England. Yes, he didn't have weapons, but his play was still declining. I just haven't seen a 42-year-old perform to that peak that they're expecting. I just don't know. It's a tricky situation. I don't think he's going to get them to the Super Bowl. I don't think he's going to get them.
No, I don't. Yeah. Nor do I.
Sam, what are you saying?
Tom Brady didn't move anyway, so he ain't got to rely on his legs. It's all about the protection. They've gone and they've taken 3 players that protected him in the Patriots. They've brought them in. They've added from the draft, added protection. They've got the defense they've upgraded so he can actually stay off the pitch a little bit longer, like just to fucking get them actually going again. He's got more weapons. He's got 3 tight ends that he could go to.
Oh, crap, yeah.
He's going to share the ball so much.
Suddenly, George has changed his mind.
No. I just forgot. I forgot there's Cameron Brate and OJ
Howard. And the man has an assortment of...
It's not going to stay that way, by the way. One of them is out, and it's going to be OJ Howard, in my opinion.
Yeah, he's got 1 year left.
Either way, I feel like I still think Brady is going to deliver. Plus, the other thing you got to forgetting what's on the field, off the field. Bruce Arians is a very, very good coach, and he's from that same era as Belichick, the same mind as well. He's a clever coach, and you got to remember, look what he got out of Jameis Winston. Considering the guy would have thrown, if people hadn't dropped passes, it's saying like 51 picks he would have had if they hadn't dropped the ball. So what they got out of him,
and imagine that without the interceptions as well,
Yeah, so you bring in Brady now is a little bit closer. Obviously, you're going to have Gronk. Gronk's going to be able to run certain routes, shall we say, for him that are obviously going to sort of beef them up a little bit. I'm not saying they're going to get into a Super Bowl. I'm not saying that. But I don't think you're going to see... no one's going to be after this season calling Tom Brady a failure for going to the Bucs, in my opinion.
No, I agree. I think he's too good to be a failure, but I just don't... I'm a mixed bag. I have a strong feeling they can go 9-7 or 10-6.
Let's go over to the Tom Brady fan club in the States. So what say you,
First
sir?
of all, he's got his Bucks gear on.
I got my Bucks. This is red, not brown. This is not brown. First of all, the reason you say I'm a Tom Brady fan is because people keep calling Aaron Rodgers' name and Drew Brees' name in the same breath as Aaron Rodgers, and I'm like, no, I think there's Tom Brady and then everybody else, So that's just to get that at 6 rings to 1-1 and all of that. Come on, guys.
How dare you?
So that's that. So get that out the way. And I'm not a fan because I'm a Dolphin fan. I've been getting killed by him for the last many years.
You've been witnessing what he's doing.
I've been witnessing what he's doing. So I think as he moves, as obviously he's 42 and he moves to Tampa Bay, and with the assortment of talent has, I think he becomes one of 53, kind of like Peyton Manning. I think he becomes game manager now. I think he goes into game management mode. I think because he's legacy and he has all of these entitlements, but he doesn't need to lead the team. They're going to rely on the running game and these tight ends and stuff like that. So Tom Brady don't have to throw the ball 40 times for them to win. And I do think that they might make a decent playoff run. I don't know about the Super Bowl. I won't give him that. But I do think he's going to change the culture down there. He's bringing in his other tight end. Culture is very important in the NFL. And so when he comes down there and he changes the culture, these players will play harder. They will, because they're like, yo, he got 6 rings. We trying to get – it gets real now in Tampa Bay. And I don't think he's going to have the load on his shoulders like he did in New England, game in and game out, even at 42. You know?
I'm personally a fan more of mobile quarterbacks. But what I would say is this, is that just judging from they had a draft-a-thon on the NFL where there was a Zoom and it was just like a load of famous, talented people and DJ Khaled. And they had so he was really relaxed in there. He had a lot of fun. He just seemed like, I feel that he was looking forward to the season. It didn't seem like it was like a drain to him.
Right.
So I think, to me, I think that there's something exciting coming there. But I would say Paris and Jay, Gronk now. What do you think? Do you feel like, because I was quite shocked that he came back, because he looked like a broken person when he left, because he was
that New England system will break you.
He says he said he wasn't having any fun anymore, and the game wasn't what he wasn't. He wasn't in love with the game anymore. So 12 months later, obviously he moved down to Tampa Bay in the Sun with Tom Brady. What do you think that the Sun changed? Do you feel that he's ready to go? Let's indulge me here.
I think it's a wait and see what happens, to be fair. Maybe he's got the love for it back, but for someone to be able to persuade you to do something that you said you fell out of love for, there must be a sort of spark. So maybe Tom Brady's called him up and said, you know, one last ride. Let's see what we can do. Even if we don't get a ring, let's have a decent Super Bowl. I mean, a decent playoff run, make some money, and then dip. So I think what Sam said is very, very important. They've still got Howard and Bray over there, so he'll probably be on limited reps or be on certain routes, or just might be just there to protect Tom Brady, because Tom Brady wouldn't have gone there knowing that he's not going to get the protection, because like we said, he's not mobile. He needs to sit in the pocket to be able to execute to the level he can do. So if you've got 3 tight ends, one being Gronk, who's probably one of the strongest tight ends we've seen in a long time, that can protect or keep in the pocket, then that might have been what he needed, to be fair.
In Paris?
Yeah, I was just going to say, like, you know, when you hear all those reports of players saying they're done and they're retired, you have to understand, like, we're all players from X's and O's. We retire every 2 weeks. I can guarantee you there's...
You think he's going to get rocked and he's not going to want to do it?
Nah, that's the complete opposite. I just think he was just really, really hurt. But I guarantee you, as soon as he started feeling good, like 2 months in, he wanted to come back for sure.
But you feel like did he move away from, was it that he wanted to move away from the Patriot way, Belichick?
No, because I think both Brady and Gronk are both about winning. And I think it was more the Patriots were more done with them than they were done with the Patriots.
I can back you up on that with actually Belichick and the Patriots being done with Gronk, because they actually they agreed a trade. He was actually supposed to go to the Detroit Lions.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, that's right.
And then he said, nah. And then he just retired. It was the easiest way for him not to go to the Lions. So,
but do you feel, Sam, that it was a move away from, because obviously he was hurt?
Yeah.
Emotionally.
I think
you feel it was more about him moving away from the Patriots after everything he's done.
I think
he put his body on the line for them.
It's not just the body though, the mind. You cannot switch off. Belichick, that's that regiment. That's like being in the army for the entirety of your life. Or like, do you know what I mean? It's just that boom, boom, all the time, all the time. There is zero fun at the Patriots. Zero.
So after a while, go ahead, Sam.
No, I was just gonna say, like you say, you put a ring on, great. But what you have to go through to do that must take its toll, right?
Right. So when you get 6 rings like Tom Brady, you get, I don't know how much Gronk has with him, 3. I'm not sure how many.
Yeah, he's got 3.
After a while, just as a human being, you just want gratitude and appreciation from an organization. That's all you want as you grow up. When you're
so
young,
you think this is an emotional thing?
I need to get money. It has to be both. Yeah, it has to be a little. When we grow up and we're 30 years old, you don't want your job just to be like treat you as you were when you were a rookie. You don't. Mm-hmm. So I think with the injuries and so on and so forth, Gronk couldn't just be like, yo, I'm going to just relax. Like, he had to come back and fight these injuries, or he know that he can be cut. He cutthroat like that. It's not like, I know my job is safe. I can rehab and be good and so on and so forth. I think the militant energy that is in the Patriots organization makes you want to have to come back, because it has that, I could be cut tomorrow kind of mentality, even for the stars.
So Daniel, do you feel that like it is amalgamation of that is more like, and if I'm getting Sam and Chris right, that it was more like, I've put my body on the line for you, and then also I'm disciplined. It's not much fun anymore, and you're not going to give me a new contract, or you're not going to pay me,
or you can cut me
because I'm literally
trade me.
Or you could, it's like because the guy was walking around with a brace on his arm and stuff like that,
I think it's a factor of all of that, because you got to think about it. I think you've got Gronk and Brady, arguably the best in their position. The best in their position, and they're not paid that much. And you've all heard about the Patriot way. You take less for the team, but it's like you take less for the team, but then are you adding that to the team? You know what I mean? Like, where's the wide receivers? Where's the running backs? Where's the help? And it's just more of a situation. And then you're getting the same 20 years of getting the same message. It's a lot for people. I think it's a lot to be like, you're berated every meeting just to prove to the point that no one's bigger than the team. 20 years after a while, you're like, come on, I've done like what? 6
I'm done with it, innit?
9 Super Bowls. Like people
remember,
regardless.
Remember Bill's motto: no days off.
Yeah,
no days off whatsoever.
Which I can think from their point of view, it's like, okay, everything we've done, it's like, okay, now new players coming in, they know the way. They know this is what we're going to do to win. So you don't need to be as hard. Let the players take over. Yeah. And when you don't give maybe more power control to Brady or Gronk, who've been in the system, know it, won the rings, and people are going to listen to them anyway because you want to listen to someone who's won 6 times. It's just like, okay, well, I'm kind of done with this. And then also the contract as well. Yeah, it's like I said, it's just a list of so many
You know
factors.
what?
Yeah.
I remember there was a bit of talk before you wrap up. There was a bit of talk about these two being in a battle or trying to outlast each other. I don't know if anyone heard about it. It was like Bill's up there, Brady's up there. Who's going to give him first sort of thing? I don't know if that's got anything to do with it, but like I do remember hearing about that. And now I'm thinking Brady is saying he never wanted to leave. He wanted to come back, but the Pats were never going to pay him what he wanted, so he obviously went elsewhere. So.
I mean, Brady never comes out with like affection and love for Belichick. You ever heard him talking adoration for him and I love being here or never? And he speaks. He's never been like, yo, this is dope. Me and the coach be clicking and never. It's never really been. I think he felt like an employee for 20 years.
Yeah.
Right, I think the Garoppolo thing really affected Brady, and I think it was more of I'm still going to be willing to put up with this, but show me some love. And I think it was just we're trying to keep Garoppolo. Didn't work out. You could just tell at that point Bill wanted to get removed past. And going back to what George said, I think Bill has more of an ego to try and win, like outside of Brady, to prove that he's the GOAT of all GOATs. And I feel like that's what you're starting to see now. It's like, well, Belichick's going to try and go out and prove I can still win a Super Bowl. And I think if he wins the Super Bowl without Brady, he does get an argument of it was all about Belichick and not Brady.
So just before we we wrap up, I just want to get your guys early unreasonable hype beast picks now.
Oh, let me go first.
So let's go with the one that who's impressed you the most and who's impressed you the least.
What who from the draft?
Just from who's after the draft. Everyone's on the teams.
Okay, so
I think everyone's on the teams. Just finished now.
Yeah.
There's a receiver called Denzel Mims. I think I pronounced it.
No, I mean, sorry, teams. What teams?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm biased, but I'm going to say Colts, and only because a bit of a bias, obviously.
Well, you bugging.
Listen. Ballard is a smart guy, innit? Like he don't force picks. He don't go to reach guys that he don't think are going to do well. We're in a bit of a sticky. We were in a bit of a sticky situation given we lost Andrew Luck just like that, and I respect the decision because if you want to go, you want to go, innit? We were looking decent, innit? Then he left. We had Jacoby Brissett who got the job done for a bit. He's not. I do like him, but I don't think he's the guy to take us forward. I've watched all of the things about following the draft and what their plan was going to be, and they were never going to reach for anyone. They were never going to take the pick because he's there. They were only going to do what's good for the Colts. And I think the moves we've made. We've signed Easton, the quarterback, who's probably 6'6". The guy's got the biggest arm in the draft category. We've got Pittman Jr., the receiver, and we've also drafted Solanke, your running back from what team was he from again? I can't remember. Yeah, man. Yeah. So I just liked how we handled business. We needed someone to pair up with T.Y. Hilton because he can't do it by himself. We've lost Eric Ebron. We've signed Trey Burton. We've also got a fullback now, Roosevelt from the Steelers, who was a pro bowler. So I think the way we're shaping up quite nicely. We've got Justin Houston on the defense. We've got DeForest Buckner on the defense. I think we're a dark horse and people are sleeping on us, to be honest. So I like. And who's your, go with the right to do?
Who's your least?
Least.
Yeah, but now you give your complete homer pick there. Might as well just put on the jersey and just hung it on the chair. Oh Lord! Right, so who's the least? Who's your least?
FIU's finest. FIU's finest, baby.
I don't. Do you know what? I don't know. I haven't really. Come back to me on that one.
I got my one for worse.
I know what Sam's going to go for. I know. I know my worst. I'll let the hater Sam go first. Go on.
What, the Giants?
No. So let's go for your most. Let's go for your most.
Oh, the most? Well, the Cardinals.
You could not wait to get in.
No, I couldn't wait. I mean, as soon as you said it, I was like, I'm so excited. No, generally.
The Cardinals now. 2 homer picks.
Yeah, no. I think for us, you know what? I'm impressed, and actually, for the first time, actually looking at it, we've addressed the needs we actually had.
Yeah.
First pick, We've got someone on defense that can obviously play multiple positions, and we need it. We had the worst defense in the league. This guy is now going to help us. We did all right. We got rid of our second round pick. So effectively, our second round pick is Hopkins, because that's what we got.
Still, absolute still.
And then you can't knock that. And then for what we've done, and I've even during the show, I've been obviously keeping up with what we've actually been getting up to all the way through to the 6th round picks here, and it's deep. Obviously, what we've done, we've addressed all the issues we needed. Mm-hmm. Defensive tackle, we've got another tackle in there as well. I think we've done okay from that. But taking away the Homer side of things, I'm actually. Do you know what? I'm going to put a throw out to the Dolphins. Dolphins have actually had quite a lot of picks, and they've addressed the right issues. Again, I'm not just talking about personnel and going by the name. Yeah. When I say who I'm impressed by the war rooms that have gone actually and addressed the issues they had. And I think the Dolphins have done that. And I think we won't see people running over the Dolphins in the first part of the season like we did last year. And worse, I say Giants because they've not addressed what they needed. If I was a Giants fan right now, I'd be taking my jersey to Cliff and putting it in his fireplace because it's pointless. It's terrible. Even the Jets, I think, and I thought the Jets were falling asleep. Actually,
I think the Jets and us are very much the same. But yeah, go on.
No, the Jets. you lot flopped. But anyway, I'm going to take the Giants off the dance floor. Who's next?
I feel like the Giants were at the worst. I'll say the worst. I'll start off with my worst. I'll say the worst, and I love the quarterback. I absolutely love the quarterback. But I think the worst team overall, including draft and trades, Houston. I think head coach Ryan, he doesn't know what he's doing. He's not a good GM. To give away D-Hop for a second-round pick, who's arguably top 3 receiver in the league, and then you can see what the Bills did in terms of giving the first round for Stephon Diggs. It didn't make sense. And D-Hop's 27. He's the go-to guy.
I thought he was older.
No, he's 27, so he's the go-to guy as well for Deshaun Watson. You know, it's just Deshaun's safety blanket, and you get him for a running back that can't keep healthy. And it's just like what they've done and the picks they've given away. And then now they've given Larry Tunsil $66 million, biggest contract for a lineman. I don't think it's worth it. He's a good stuff, but I don't think he's a good first-round buy. So I just think overall, and they didn't really address all their needs. They're weak on cornerbacks. They need a better wide receiver, a wide receiver that can stay healthy, and I think they gave away one of the best in the game. So for me, I think Houston, worst team. I think they got weaker, personally, than what they did before. And I think it'll be a miracle. I think outside of Deshaun Watson, it'll be a miracle for them to get to playoff. For me, the best teams, and it's between two, and I say this as a Seahawks fan, so I can preface it, so you guys know I'm not biased, but I think the Cardinals did well because of who they got from the trades and also from the draft. Because like what Sam said, they addressed some of the needs. They got a fantastic wide receiver, if not one of the best in the game, to help out, their quarterback, to go alongside as well, Larry Fitzgerald. I think they've done really well in the draft. I think them, and I think people are sleeping on the fact that the Ravens have done really well in terms of who they've got. Yeah. Solid picks, solid running backs. Mark Ingram's 30, so you've got young running backs, solid picks on the defense, another tight end. They've drafted a wide receiver to help out Jackson. I just think overall, it's just a solid draft.
Campbell as well, by the way.
Yeah,
Campbell in there.
Yeah.
Well.
So I think from defensively, they're going to be mean. They're going to be tough, which they usually are. Offensively, I think they're just giving him more weapons, Jackson. So I just think they've done really well. So I think it's a toss-up between them and the Cardinals.
So Chris and then Jay and then obviously Paris. You guys go.
So the best.
So who's most impressive right now, here and now with the
most impressive without the homer pick as the Miami Dolphins.
It's the first time you can get away with doing that.
I could, but I'm not even gonna go with the Dolphins. I'm actually gonna go with the Minnesota Vikings, who got rid of They got rid of Stephon Diggs, but they were able to replace him with Jefferson from LSU. And I watched that game with LSU in the national championship, and that boy was a monster. And I watched him throughout it. So So Jefferson's, and they were able to pick up a solid cornerback from TCU at the 31st pick. So not only did they trade away those good picks and Stephon Diggs, they had late picks, and they were able to pick up some solid pieces. Jefferson at 22, Gladney and 31 definitely was some solid picks for Minnesota. I think under the radar because they're already good, you know. So I think those are some solid picks with the extraction of Stephon Diggs. And the worst one, I'm not even gonna say the Giants. I'm used to that. It's actually the veteran squad of Green Bay. I just don't understand what they were doing there. A lot of question marks. They drafted up to get a quarterback that, you know what I mean? It, to me, to now be accompanied with a sensitive quarterback that you have. So to me, it just drums up drama, but for absolutely no reason. So that was a bit of a weird pick. So that was my those two. And of course, the Dolphins did do well. That was my homer pick, and you know what they did.
Jay?
Paris?
Jay. Me, I'm surprised no one said it, but the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys, despite all of the dramas this preseason or off-season, shall I say, they've done well to keep Dak Prescott. Zeke Elliott is still there, and in my opinion, probably one of the top 3 running backs in the league. They've got CeeDee Lamb to team up with Amari Cooper, who managed to also keep as well, and they've still got Gallup. I think offensively, they could be a powerhouse, man. Especially if they
Did they draft a running back as well?
I'm not sure if they've drafted a running back. I don't think so. I don't think they did that.
Okay.
I don't think they did. But if they can find the offensive line form that they had 2, maybe 3 seasons ago, that offense is undefeatable. And they've also signed Stephon Diggs' younger brother at corner as well.
Yeah.
I think they're being slept on. I think they could be a secret powerhouse. Worse, I think only because I read this yesterday, Bears drafted a tight end as their first pick, and that means they've got 11 tight ends on their.
Cole Kemet from Notre Dame.
Yeah, so to me, they don't know what they're doing there, or like I don't know. So Bears for me,
they have 11 tight ends on the roster.
And I'm not gonna say Pats have been terrible this offseason, but I don't know what's happening over at New England, man. So like, I'm not worried, but we've said this in the group before. Like, I feel like Pats might be trying to potentially throw a season, knowing that there's some
way.
Coming.
They're never getting
it. Belichick does not throw seasons. And
no days off, man.
Mate, 14 picks. 13 of them you'll never know, but at the end of the season, you'll know it.
Yeah.
The dog's going to be the QB.
Defense, especially on defense.
Yeah, you don't mess around with it. You can't ever. These discussions, it's like when people talk about who's gonna win the Super Bowl. You can never not say the Patriots because of this reason.
I think you can kind of. I don't think you can write them off, but I think you can kind of. They're in a rebuild at the moment. It looks like but we'll see at the start of the season. Paris, what have you got?
I'm gonna have to say that I didn't like what the Las Vegas Raiders did this draft at all. So I'm gonna make.
Wow.
Really? Because of the road?
I think the run was a reach, but then they reached down in the 3rd and the 4th rounds. They went back to back on wide receivers again.
Yeah, they did.
Did they? They picked 2 wide receivers.
They picked up 3. The kid from Kentucky, the quarterback / wide receiver / running back. But
you know why they did that?
Sorry?
I feel like they did that to match Kansas City's offense because you can't stop them. So the best thing to do is to match them offensively because if you look at it, Denver did the same thing by drafting on offense.
Yeah. I feel like you address a need in the 1st round and then you address it again and then you address it again. It really does that pick. But I'm going to go with Dolphins as the winners of the draft because just wow. It's just a wow. Wow. Like, look at it. They got a guard, a center, a tackle, 2
running back.
They were already good, and this,
So I'm gonna go with. Difficult for me to say this. It's the Cowboys.
What?
It'll be Cowboys and the Dolphins. But I mean, the Cowboys because obviously they had a strong offensive unit as it is, and then obviously they've added another threat with CeeDee Lamb. I also feel that with the Dolphins, as you guys say, they've made he's improved the defense. Defense has been great. Obviously, he's a defensive orientated coach, but he's added pieces that make sense all around. Right now, I'm gonna say the worst. I see Sam waiting. I'm gonna say I'm gonna say the Giants have impressed me the least. Not that they're the worst, but they've impressed me the least because obviously they are so far away from where they actually should be, but they've actually made correct decisions. Could be.
You're in your place now. You're in the right place.
You know what? See what he's talking now because a little while ago there was an actual desert there. So we obviously we've just got an offensive. We've got a left tackle. I just think it's a no frill signing. So I think people were expecting for us to be able to grab a bit more of a star-studded pick, but I think he's done what he actually should do because if you keep on taking defensive picks and then you're not looking after you're letting Daniel Jones not have an opportunity to throw the ball and then Saquon not even an opportunity to run, then you're going to affect their offensive talent. So let's give these guys time to be able to get somewhere. So I think
the reason why they're disappointed in the Giants is from past stuff is because they're not in a position to even compete with the Redskins or the Cowboys right now. They're just not in a position to even
I know what you're doing.
And get Simmons, who I think that they should have gotten. They had to get an offensive lineman because they've been beat up on the offensive line for the last 5 years. And to address it now,
we've been talking about
behind
that.
The 8 ball.
Yeah, no, sorry to interrupt you, but that's something that we've been complaining about for a long period of time. Even when Eli was playing before Daniel Jones,
right. So I mean, now addressing that, now that same guard that you picked got to go against Chase Daniels. You know what I'm saying? That's what we. You feel me? So that's what we talking about. Chase, you got Chase Young. I'm sorry. You got Young, and then from the Washington, and then you got Dallas just loading up. And I think the Giants just are going to be another.
It'll be another long season for the Giants. I mean, to be honest, obviously, I haven't been impressed because obviously we've got a head coach. Why we picked him, I have no idea, but we'll see what he can do, Joe Judge. So that's the end of my Giants. You won't hear me this season be talking about the Giants that much until we start winning. And then
you ain't even wearing the jersey.
And then no, I'm representing my favorite
teams like nothing,
off
man.
The bandwagon. Boy.
Aaron Rodgers is a. I'm sorry, I support Aaron Rodgers to the day I die.
You mean Daniel Jones?
No, he's got his time to come, but right now I'm all about Aaron Rodgers. I think that they're wasting his talent. And I think it's criminal. But
wait, do you think he should have? Do you think he should have gone for or requested a trade since when they went up the draft to get?
I just don't think he's going to do anything like that. It's not really his style. I think they're going to have to. It'll be them having to trade him, and there'll be a long list of people that would take him. I don't think he's going to request a trade. I think he'll just get on with it. But I just think it's a shame that he hasn't got more weapons to as I said before, he got them with having majority of the season without his star wide receiver, one game away from the Super Bowl.
I thought they'll sign Jameis Winston.
Why?
As a backup.
You might as well just give the people the ball.
No, but as a backup.
You get one of the fans. You get one of the fans at the start.
I thought they'll draw the ball and then just sign because you got to think about Jameis and Cam are still out of the market. I thought you would sign them by now just as a backup option because you're not really getting.
You're right. Aaron Rodgers, he got one ring.
Cam, no, absolutely no way. But we won't go into Cam because obviously I've spoken about the off season quite a lot with him. And
another 20p in this guy.
And I won't get into the Browns too, but that's coming too. Guys, thank you so much, for joining us. I appreciate you guys taking the time out. We'll try to make sure that we do these things more often. Obviously, we'll try to do a weekly wrap up and we'll see who's free to be able to talk about all things NFL. Obviously, right now we're kind of looking for any news to be able to keep us occupied, because we all have to stay in our houses except for Chris in Florida, where they're on jet skis and who knows what they're doing.
I'm staying inside. I'm inside.
There's all concerts there. David Guetta's doing concerts. People ramming out the trip. Honestly, I love you, Miami.
That was kind of dope.
I love Miami, but Lord, my God, like there's more things that they did today. I saw more things. But anyway, guys, we just want to thank the NHS for in the UK for the amazing work that they're doing. Please, guys, make sure you stay in, wash your hands, and abide by the rules. Sam especially, because no one wants him out and about. That's for sure. And check out
hero.
Check out for more of our content on obviously the SportsHeads. On Instagram and SportsHeads Official. If I'm getting it right, Sam. Well, we'll put the links below on Twitter. And we got a new platform as well, at Alternative Sports on Instagram, which is blowing up, where we're going to be having like a lot of our visuals. So you'll be able to see us here, and obviously Verge Magazine for all written NFL content. Gentlemen, I thank you very much for your time. It's been great. I've really enjoyed your company, and we'll make sure we do this again.
Peace.
Peace.